Hello. How you doing? It's wake up time. It's wake up time for me. No, I don't really have anything specific on my mind that I need to talk about this morning. I think I say that every time I come on here and do this, so don't I? Just about. But I usually get inspired to talk about something important whenever I begin doing this. I'm really big on not talking unless I have something to say, right? There's my people tuning in. A couple of you in here. Say hello, make yourself known, or forever hold your peace. What's up, y'all? How you doing? Yeah, I'm real big on not talking unless you have something to say. You know, I'm big on that. Got a lot of people out there who talk just because they have to say something, right? Yeah, I'm kind of anti that. So it puts me in this weird place when I come on here and say hello. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to just make meaningless noise, you know? But I usually get inspired to talk about something good when I come on here. Let's sage, man. I don't really feel any nasty energy in the air right now, but I feel like firing this stick up. Check this out. This is white sage, sweetgrass, and I think that's lavender. Yeah. Smells super good, dude. Super good. Got an incense going. I got a busy day today. I have a busy day today. I'm getting a reading. I'm getting a reading today. You all know that that's weird for me because I really don't like getting readings. I swear to you, I have never gone and sought out a reading in my life. Ever. Ever. You know? And they always come chase me down. Every reading I've ever had always comes and chases me down. And I'm kind of one of those people, since I'm big on attraction anyway, I would much rather attract than pursue. Whenever something chases me down to that point, I pay attention to my internal guidance system. Like, do I need a reading? You know? Yes, I am a YouTube reader, whoever just asked that. Yes, I am. One of the many YouTube readers. But yeah, I'm getting a reading today from, y'all remember me telling my story where I very first started off living on the East Coast and then left there and just kind of started bouncing around in random places throughout the US. Well, during that little period, I told you all, I got a reading from that lady Tracy, who gave me a very, very accurate reading of things to come. And she's giving me another one today. She gave Leo one about a week or two ago, and it was really super positive, and kind of like insisted on giving me another one. And I'm like, man, do I really want that? But like something inside me kept leading me to, yeah, it's time to go ahead and get a reading, you know? Like people come to me all the time. Actually, I had about 2 people yesterday who came to me for personal readings. And it seems like some people like to say, well, just whatever I need to hear. Well, you're the one looking for the reading, you know? You're the one who feels like you need clarity on something. You're the one coming and searching for a reading. You can't do it like that. Now, if a reading comes and finds you, then yes, it's going to be what you need to hear. But if you are searching for a reading, you got something you want clarity on, right? Something. You got something, some kind of something inside of you that is looking for an answer when it comes to something, you know? So I always insist, no, you come to me for a reading, I want your questions. Intention powers everything, okay? I told somebody that yesterday. We don't go to a restaurant and just hand them money and say, well, I don't know, why don't you just give me something from in the back, whatever you think I should be eating. You know, we don't do that, do we? Intention powers everything, dude. Intention powers the words that come out of your mouth. Intention powers every action you take and every decision you make, and ultimately yields your results. So, but yeah, I kind of trailed off there a little bit. I'm getting a reading today. So, it's like a psychic reading. Very, very rare that I do that. Very rare. Very rare. But I don't have a negative feeling about it. I really don't. I used to. Dude, I used to get so scared when people would say, let me read for you, you know? And, but, I mean, I've never really had one come out too negative, you know? Not really. Not really, you know? I mean, this lady that's giving me a reading today did tell me some of the events that were going to come to pass that ended up being negative, and she warned me about them. And it was true. It was true. It was like, damn, this lady knows more about my life than me, you know? But I know how it feels. Seems like we got a couple more things to do today, too. Seems like we have a couple more things to do. I'm really not 100% sure exactly what they are. But I don't know. She's the organizer. Leah is the organizer. She like, my head's so loud. I got so much shit that goes on in my head. Man, I'll forget shit, you know? I'll forget shit. So, oh man, I don't know what all we had to do today. Anyway, though. Anywho, appreciate y'all for tuning in. What's up with y'all today, man? I'm kind of just hanging out here in the abyss waiting to get started working. This is what I do in the morning. Like I said, I'm the first one up, typically. And take the kiddos to their little daycare or whatever. And sit here and just kind of get myself awakened, drink me a bang, and get motivated. I'm going to start reading the signs on my channel backwards for September. I'm going to start from Pisces and then move my way to Aries just to change things up. What time is it here? Hell, I don't know. Good question. I don't know. Hang on. I don't know. I can't find the clock anywhere. Probably about 8. I think it's about 8. Yeah, it was like 7:51 when I came on. So it's close to 8. Let's see here. Let me look at some comments. Okay. Somebody wants to know if I have any suggestions on a job. Here's what I always suggest. And I tell people this all the time. They come to me for a personal reading. They're like, I don't know, is this decision I'm about to make a wise decision, you know? If you try to walk through a door and it opens and you are able to go through, go through. Go through. That's part of the plan. That's part of the plan. If you try to do something and the door gets slammed shut in your face, that means no. Okay? Like, it's after a while, it takes a little bit to start kind of becoming accustomed to the way the universe works. But once you start developing that good relationship with the universe, life gets so simple. It gets so simple after a while. We make it complicated with this. We're the ones that make it complicated. Well, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? You know, we're the ones that overcomplicate everything. And that's one of the reasons why I approach what I do with these things so differently. I've talked about this in other chats before, but I'm not here to tell you that you are doomed to one timeline, you know? Not really. I am so pro creation that I just think that looking at one linear timeline is very narrow, and I don't know. I mean, I get it. Part of being a human is having that limited little box that we're stuck in. And from a spiritual perspective, that's why we come do it. That's why we come do it, because it's fun to tune out everything else. All the inner workings of the universe and everything going on outside of this planet and in the other dimensions, we tune it all out. And we ignore it. And we focus on this little bitty set of circumstances of our own making, and get lost in it all, you know? But still, we are in a period in time right now where we are starting to push the walls of that box out. Just a little bit, you know? And I have this burning sensation inside of me. I cannot shake the insatiable thirst to spill that knowledge out, you know? I'm not the only one doing it. Absolutely not. But the last time I looked, there's not very many of us doing that. There's still a small group of us who are basically sharing, you know, reminding you, hey, this is the way it really works, you know? So those who actually want the knowledge will hear it, you know? And it's just as simple as that, really. Not really a whole lot of trailing off I can do in regards to that, but yeah, the veil is thinning, absolutely. Yeah, the veil is thinning, but see, the funny thing about it is that once you get through this veil, then there's another one. And then once you get through that veil, there's another one. We need to eliminate that idea that there is this final arrival point. You know, there's not. And even if there was, let's just go ahead for the sake of the conversation and say that there was this final arrival point that we were all going to end up at. We're nowhere fucking near it right now. Nowhere. We're nowhere near it right now. You know? Nowhere near it. So, even if one of these days, I have arrived and it's complete. Even if that was the case, which it's not. But if it was, we still are nowhere near it. We still have 100 mountains to climb and 1,000 oceans to swim, you know, before we get to that point. But we got to start somewhere, you know. We got to start somewhere. Like I said, right now, to put it lightly, this is a dualistic dimension anyway. So pretty much everything in this life is going to be dualistic in nature. So with that in mind, everything that's going on in the world right now is drawing a line between two people, two kinds of people. Those people who operate separately and independently, and those people who are easily influenced and easily manipulated. Easily influenced and easily manipulated. Mm-hmm. And that's really all there is to it. At the end of the day, we can go down conspiracy wormholes and whatnot all you want, but at the end of the day, the way I look at it is you are the one who chooses to be manipulated. You're the one that allows that. You're the one that allows another person's opinion to sway you. You're the one with the ability to slam your foot down and say, no, I feel what you're doing to my mind. I can feel my emotions and my thought patterns. I know me. I know how I function. I'm aware of my patterns. This is why getting in touch with yourself is so important. So important, y'all. You have no idea how important it is to go inside and get in touch with you. Okay? Then you can identify. You can identify when your thought patterns are being pulled off track. Why? Why is my mind getting pulled in this direction? That's not normal. You know, there's so many people that it happens to them, they don't even realize it. Don't even realize it. Why is it that my emotions are being tugged in this direction? They were going this way just a minute ago, but now, ever since I started listening to this person or talking to you or whatever, now all of a sudden I just feel my emotions being yanked in this funny direction. No, I know me. I'm not going to allow you to change the way I look at the world. And that could be my fixed nature too. We fixed signs do. It's not that if you're not a fixed sign, you're incapable of doing this. It's just that every sign has their advantages and their disadvantages, you know? And that's a fixed sign's advantage, okay? It requires a little bit more work to sway and persuade a fixed sign, doesn't it? A little bit more work. Now, let's look at the other side of that coin. If you're a mutable sign, you have advantages too. Fixed signs, what is one of our challenges? Adapting to change, right? There is times when we do need to change. There's a time and a place for being fixed and stubborn, and then a time and a place where, okay, I need to adapt to change. And every fixed sign will eventually end up in a place where it's time to change something. And that's tough for us, isn't it? Okay, when I say fixed sign, I'm talking about Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, and Leo. It's tough for us. It's harder. Okay? Whereas a mutable sign can just go, oh, we're going this way now. Okay, well, let's do this then, you know? And it's just like it's nothing, right? But Yeah, there's two sides to that coin. So yeah, but it's, again, like I've said before, it's very important. I know that when we travel down these paths and start going through these little wormholes of astrology and energy and the cosmos and things like that, there's this part of us that likes to latch on to things that we can use as excuses for our behavior, isn't it? It's real easy to fall into that trap. The truth of the matter is that there is a part of you, the only real part of you, that isn't governed by any of that. Isn't governed by any of that. But detaching from that is the trick. How do I vibrate higher than my Aquarius nature? How do I do that? How do I vibrate higher so that, okay, well, when it's time, when I see the evidence in my outside world, which is what the ego likes to do, the ego likes evidence. So when the ego starts to notice evidence in the outside world that it's time to change and it's time to fluctuate, and the outside world isn't waiting around on me, how do I vibrate higher than that? How do I vibrate higher than my fixed Aquarius nature and allow myself to flow? See what I'm saying? Dig what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with ego. Nothing wrong with that. That's one of those. See, and I think, I just can't wait until we become more telepathic by nature. And we're getting there. It's going to be a slow, gradual process. But semantics is one of the things that hold us back more than anything. Right? Vernacular. The way we word things. The things that we say. The words that we use. There's a lot of ambiguous words out there. Okay? And it's really subjective in nature. When you say ego, most of us have kind of trained ourselves to immediately think bad, right? Not bad unless you do bad things with your ego. Okay, the ego can tend to be misleading. The ego is a very poor calculator. It's not bad though. It's not bad. There's a lot of people out there who are 100% ego driven and have no knowledge of their higher self at all, and they have the most benevolent intentions in the world. Right? They would do anything. They would give you the shirt off their back. They would, you know what I mean? The word ego in and of itself, all that really means is the skin suit, the human faculties, the character, the avatar. That's the ego. Okay? Your higher self came down here and incarnated in the ego form on purpose. On purpose. Okay? One of the most, in my opinion, pretentious and kind of arrogant things that we can do is postulate that our higher self was just so stupid, it didn't know why in the hell it came down here. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It's not figuring it out, it's remembering it. There's a line in the sand between figuring it out and remembering. Because if you remember something, you've already figured it out. You figured it out a long time ago. You figured it out long before you got here. Remembering. That's the trick. That's the trick. No. The volunteers who came here to help started coming here a while back. Right around World War II. Right around World War II is when the and I know that there's a lot of different people, again, semantics, ambiguous terms. Volunteers, I've heard lots of different people give that term to different meanings, okay? There's some people out there that say volunteers are people who have graduated the Earth game and don't have to come back, but they come back anyway. I've heard other people say that the volunteers are people who have never been to Earth before ever, and they possess a foreign energy to the planet. Maybe it's a group of the two. Maybe it is kind of a mixture of the two, you know? But when I say volunteers, I am focusing on the entities who have never been to planet Earth before. Never been here. Never been a human. Very challenging for them. Starseeds, okay? Starseeds. They're pretty easy to spot because they're horrible at being humans. Okay? It's very challenging for them to play the human games and do the things that humans do. You know, they get lost. A lot of them become drug addicts. A lot of them become alcoholics because this dense, from the other side looking at Earth, it's like, oh, that's a cute little game. That looks fun. Right on, you know. Most of the other entities are like, dude, no, you don't understand how intense that Earth game is. You don't get it, dude. Oh, whatever. Sure, let's go play, you know. And then your awareness trickles down into this little thin stream It's stuck into this little baby brain that can't really process much of anything, and you forget, and you get lost in here. And if you've never been to Earth before, if you don't really have any energy imprints from this planet that can subconsciously remind you of what you're doing here, you're fucking like, what is this place? You know? So ass backwards and upside down and inside out from the nature of who we really are and where I just came from. I don't like this place at all. A lot of starseeds try to kill themselves, you know? A lot of people who have been either never been here or been here very few times. And I got news for you. 10 lifetimes is nothing compared to some of the long-term humans who have been here playing this game. Been incarnating on Earth, stuck on the karmic wheel, coming back over and over and over and over. Which that was never the plan to begin with, but that's kind of what this game turned into, you know? So yeah, if you are an entity who has not been here very many times, you know, the wave of people who started to come in here to raise the vibration of the planet, that didn't just come here for 2020. I mean, yeah, it was leading up to this. It was leading up to this point, but it wasn't just specifically for right now. I mean, it's been this gradual process for close to 100 years, about 50, 60, 70 years, something like that. It's been a while. It's been this slow, gradual, because, dude, here in 3D, shit moves slow. It moves slow. That's just the way it works. It's just the way it works. It moves really slow here. So, understanding that, yeah, there's a group of entities who came here. The number, I don't know. I don't know. You hear in the spiritual community where this number came from, I don't know, but 144,000. Where did that number come from? I honestly have no idea. Maybe that's because I've never really been into any type of channeling and past life regression and stuff like that, in which you actually connect to that source that is able to speak through a human. You know, I haven't really experienced much of that one-on-one, not really, but maybe that's where that number came from. I really don't know. I have no idea. People with mental and physical disabilities, typically, there's no blanket statement, but a lot of disabled people are here paying off a shitload of karma all at once. Yep, they want to get out of here. They're like, man, fuck this Earth place. I'm going to pay off all my karma in one lifetime. And there, according to what I've heard from like Dolores Cannon and people like that, there are more entities in line for the disabled bodies than anybody else. So you can pay off all your karma in one lifetime and go. So, but is that the case for every single disabled person? I don't know. I have no idea. But, that makes sense? So, yeah. And if you do ever get told or determine that you are a volunteer, starseed, whatever you want to call it, don't beat yourself up wondering what you're supposed to be doing. The only thing you're supposed to do is be here and stay here. That's it. The example that I used on a video not too long ago, we got any guitar players in here? Any guitar players? A lot of you don't know this about me, but I've been playing guitar my whole life. And if you take a guitar, well, I guess it depends on what type of guitar and the acoustics and whatever. But one of the strings, you pluck one of the strings, bing, and just let it ring. What happens? You ever done this? Bing, pluck one of the strings, and the string next to it will start vibrating at the same frequency. The same note will start coming out of the string next to it. You ever notice that? Those of you who play guitar, ever done it? Just pluck one of the strings and let it ring and watch one of the strings next to it start vibrating at the same frequency? Yes. That's what we're doing. We're coming here with a louder, more foreign frequency, and you're holding it whether you realize it or not. You're ringing whether you realize it or not. You're putting off a frequency, a vibration, whether you realize it or not. And it affects everything and everyone around you. The challenge, though, is that most starseeds don't like being around people. Don't like being around long-term humans. Don't like it. Okay? Don't like it. It's not comfortable. It's not fun. Because, after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, they get programmed and fixed into this game and locked into it. And it's so far away from the nature of who we truly are that most starseeds don't really enjoy being around people. But that's the challenge, is to go try to intermingle and be around as many people as you can, okay, to speed the process up. Because again, your frequency is radiating off of you and affecting everybody around you, even if you don't realize it. You can feel a starseed when they walk into the room. You can feel it. Ever be in a public place? Like, I hate to use this example, but like say a restaurant, you know, McDonald's or something like that. No, I'm not advocating cancer-causing hamburgers, but just for the example, just say you're standing in line at like a restaurant or something like that. And then this person walks in and you feel it. And you just look at them and it's like, and you just feel their energy blasting through the room. And you just like can't quit looking at this person. For whatever reason, it just feels like, damn, your energy is so intense. And it's a starseed. And they're probably really quiet, probably not saying much, probably trying to go out of their way to not be noticed, even though you feel them. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Pay attention. They're all around you. They're all around you. Absolutely. So, that was an interesting tangent to go on. Very interesting. And yeah, but a lot of people are really, really bent on trying to figure out, what am I supposed to be doing? Putting your feet on the planet. You know what I mean? Putting your feet on the planet and being here. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what you do. But yes, it would be cool to try to focus that energy. Because like I just said a minute ago, intention powers everything. It powers everything. There's a lot of starseeds on here who forget, and they're not going around with very strong intentions. And as a result of that, their personal reality is going to yield some pretty negative results, okay, as far as their subjective experience, right? But it helps to focus that energy. Once you understand, and like, it can take a minute for some of these concepts to sink in, you know? I tell people who come to me for personal readings all the time, if this doesn't make sense right now, don't worry. It didn't for me either. It didn't for me either. Do you have any idea how long some of the things that I understand and teach, you have any idea how long? Like sometimes I would hear somebody say something and be like, that don't make no damn sense at all. I don't like that. And then 2 weeks later, I'd be like half asleep and be like, I get that. That makes sense. The thing that they said, that person, that made no sense. And I thought it was stupid 2 weeks ago. Now it makes perfect sense. So I shoved it to the back burner and let it simmer. Right? Let it simmer. So, anyway. Anywho. I wish I did know what time it is. Nah, I guess it don't matter. It don't matter. I do have a couple of same-day readings to do this morning that came in yesterday afternoon. I was pretty slammed with readings yesterday. Man. Oh, I'm still in so much pain, y'all. I'm getting used to it, though. I'm getting used to it. I'm starting to get just kind of used to my body hurting all the time, you know? Because now I'm up to 4 days a week with my personal trainer. 4 days a week. So, kind of the same thing that I am explaining with this, you know, as far as your thinking patterns, which is where most Aquarians are the strongest. I am now doing the same thing with my body, right? I'm undoing the old mechanism, the old movements and the old system that my body is used to, and like outside of my comfort zone until eventually this becomes comfortable. And it's, excuse me, it's slowly creeping in. Gonna be a process, gonna be a long drawn out process to get real solid, fucking amazing, mind blowing results, you know? But that's just the thing with anything. I don't really care what it is that you're doing. It's going to be uncomfortable if you want success. If you want, the path to success is not fun. It's not comfortable. But you would be surprised how quick it actually goes by. It feels like, and it is drawn out. It doesn't happen when you wake up overnight. But you would be surprised how quick it happens in comparison to what you thought. Once you stay on the path, you know. So, for example, I've been going to gyms on and off for the last year and a half and not really seen too many solid results. Okay, but now that I'm sticking with a routine, a year and a half from now, oh, watch a year and a half from now. Oh yeah. Now, same thing with success. In any aspect of life, financial success, relationship success, anything. Once you start changing your old patterns, which is uncomfortable as fuck, but you stick with that routine over and over and over and over. Stick with that routine. And after a while, your comfort zone will expand to fit you back in it. It's been the story of my life for the last 5 years. Oh yeah. So anywho, I'm pretty pumped today. Pretty pumped. How long have I been on here? 30 minutes, just babbling. Anything else important to talk about? I don't want to just make meaningless noise. I like to help as much as possible. I would like to, it really depends, What does the collective need to hear? I'm not going to pull a card for it. I do this out of boredom. I'll just shuffle my cards out of boredom. Never meaningless? It can be. Well, it's never meaningless because I make sure it's not meaningless. I'll make sure it's not. Because I've seen a lot of people who, on the internet who will get on and just kind of chat about meaningless shit that is not really thought out, And it's kind of hard to avoid sometimes, but I make it a strong point that again, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, I'm really big on not talking unless I have something to say. I've said this several times. Any of you, if you meet me in real life, I'm quiet. I don't just open my mouth just to make noise. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. I'm still working on it. But you know that person. Every time you go to the grocery store, you at least see one of them. Every time you go anywhere, you at least see one of them, and they just can't quit making noise with their mouth. And if you listen to what's coming out of it, it's not anything really of any value. They're basically trying to distract themselves from their own head. And you can tell. They're just making noise to keep themselves preoccupied and distracted so that they don't have to pay attention to their own thoughts. I'm going to make noise at you because if I come up and I just spit words at you, you're going to go, whoo, and you're going to spit words back at me. And we're just playing this noise exchange basically because I can't sit with my own thoughts. I don't like myself, basically, And I don't want to do that. In the position that I'm in, I think that I would be doing everybody a disservice, okay? I'm not all in this for me. No. Do I get benefits from what I do? Yes, absolutely. Okay, I make a very good living doing what I do. But if I want anything in return, I have to make sure that I'm bringing value to the table, I have to make sure that if I want things of value in my life, I have to be giving something of value. Okay? What you give, you receive. So if I'm not giving anything of value, that's why I'm such kind of not really a perfectionist, but I am very picky about how I approach what I do and how I go about and explaining the things that I do, like in my readings and stuff, Because if I'm just blowing smoke out of my ass just to make a video, oh man, my YouTube check looks like it's going to be a little bit lower this month than it was last month. I got to make some kind of video just so people will watch it so I can get my money up there. Can't do that. I can't do that. I would rather my YouTube check be $1,000 lower 1 month from the next than to just randomly put out content just to get my views up, to get my check looking good. Nope. People with that mindset, your business will crash one day. Your business will crash. Your channel will not grow. And you see it happen all the time. I know that you all are at least following one person whose channel was growing. It was growing. And then when they stopped growing, their channel stopped growing. Watch. Pay attention. I've watched it and I've seen it. I'm not going to name anybody publicly, but I've sat and watched people, they're growing and they're evolving. And then the minute they just start repeating themselves, And it's like, dude, I've seen you make a video talking about that same thing like 500 times, you know? Then their channel stops growing. You know what I'm saying? So I always make it a very strong point to approach what I do from an evolutionary point of view. Those of you who have been following me for a real long time, pretty much from day one, look at how much I've grown. Okay? Now, it's not been fun. Looking back, it's pretty cool, but the process wasn't always fun. Painful, scary, nerve-wracking, you know? Am I done now? Hell no. 1 year from now, I'm not gonna know this me. And that's the goal. That's the goal. I'm never the same person from 1 year to the next. Man, I look back at who I was 1 year from now, dude, I don't even really recognize that person that I was, you know? That's the goal. That is the goal. Okay? Been fun? What, watching me do it? Yeah. Yeah, it can be fun, but as long as it motivates everybody. That's what, because I remember being in that seat, you know? In that seat where I'm watching somebody that I really look up to, you know, and just watching the little pieces of their life that they put on the internet. And after a while, I'm looking at my life, you know, like, well, when am I going to be that person? When am I going to be like the person that's growing and evolving and, you know, going from basically this piece to this piece to this piece, you know? When am I going to be that person? And then that's when I just kind of spread my own wings and started flying, and it's scary. It's scary. If you're a little baby bird sitting on the branch watching all the other birds fly, you got to leap off that branch eventually. And yes, it's scary. And a lot of times, you know, your wings are going to keep you going. You're going to bloop and then hit the ground. Well, shit. Well, I'm down here now. Now I got to get back up there. How am I going to do that? Huh? I hope that was a good analogy. I like to use analogies, you know. But, yeah. Ooh, the 10 of Wands popped out. Uh-oh. Maybe I got some burdens I need to sort through. Maybe I got some sticks I need to let go of, you know? I can't think of anything that's in my conscious awareness. Consciously, everything in my life is really good. But that's the thing. That's the thing, is that, like I tell people all the time, if it's not in my conscious awareness, it's doing more damage. Okay, it's doing more damage. Because the minute something, negative energy, a negative experience or whatnot, slides underneath of your conscious awareness, then it becomes a thought form of its own. Now you're no longer in control of it. So then that's when we have to dig up shit and look at it. Interesting. I don't know, I can't read for myself though, so I honestly have no idea what that card meant. That's one thing I can't do, dude. I can't read my own situation, you know, or anything. If I am too attached to the situation or I care about the outcome, I can't read it. I can't read it. Like, not accurately. I have to be completely detached and not give two shits about the outcome I'm reading. I know that sounds bad. It sounds kind of mean, but that's just the way it works. Like, if you come to me and I don't know you from Adam, and, you know, like, I really don't care. That sounds terrible, dude. Sounds fucking horrible. I don't like hearing myself say this, but if I don't really care what happens in your situation, it's really easy for me to read what's going to happen. Now, if it's somebody that I know or something that I'm attached to that, like, I care, like, I don't want this thing to happen, I'm not going to be able to read it correctly. Because I'm going to be like, oh, well, fuck, what, shit, what if this happens? Oh, no, I don't want that to, you know? And it, like, my own bias gets in the way of basically, you know, anything that I actually care about. So it sounds horrible, but I've never heard a legitimate reader say anything otherwise. Not a legitimate one. When I say legitimate, I don't mean you're just pulling cards and memorizing the textbook meaning of the card. That's important. I'm not saying that's unimportant. But there's a lot of readers who do that. And wait a minute though. The intention that you put into that, if you put a certain intention into a card, it could mean anything, you know? So that's why I say, yeah, people ask me all the time. Somebody just asked me on a chat the other day, like, are you going to do a video about the meanings of the cards? And I look back at the way I learned. You know, the only thing that led me to doing what I'm doing was wanting to find clarity on something in my own life. That's it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And I was so obsessive about gaining clarity on this that I took it upon myself to obsessively study the cards and watch other readers. All I wanted was clarity on my own situation, you know, which, like I said, now I've realized that I can't really do very well. Not really. But that was, so what I did was I sat down with a book one day. It took me about 8 hours, y'all. 8 hours. I was hungry for this knowledge. I was starving for this knowledge, you know. I didn't care about being a YouTuber. Actually, at this point in time, when I was learning the cards, I had no plans of doing this. Oh no, I had absolutely no plans of ever doing what I'm doing. That was nowhere in my awareness. Absolutely nowhere. Had nothing to do with why I was sitting down learning these cards. Nothing to do with it. I never planned on being a YouTuber. I never planned on accepting a dime for reading cards, you know. If you would have told me that that's what I was going to be doing, I probably would have thrown the cards away and said, no, never mind, fuck this. That sounds stupid. For real. So, like I said, intention powers everything. What is your intention? What is it that you're wanting? Why do you want to know the meanings of the cards? Why do you want to know? A lot of people out there, all they really want to do is make a bunch of money and be perceived a certain way, you know. I never gave two fucks about that. I never really cared about looking like this public figure, spiritual shit. Not really. That's not why I started learning the cards. Again, I was thirsty, starving, hungry for the knowledge just because I had something that was unclear in my own mind. And I thought that if I learned how to read the cards, that would be the only way that I would be able to figure it out. Turned out, a couple of months down the line, I started getting this little weird nudge to start a YouTube channel. Well, I mean, I already had my channel up and going, but to start reading tarot on my YouTube channel. And I fought against that urge. And then even after I started and my channel took off, I refused personal readings for months. I refused, absolutely refused it. I was too scared until I was kind of hard up for money one day. I was like, well, fuck, man. I need a couple extra dollars. You know what I'm saying? So I guess here's my time to see. I'm scared. Oh, scared to death, dude. I went live on Facebook and was reading little $20 mini readings or whatever you call it. Because like people would just beg me and beg me and beg me and beg me. And that became something that people came to me begging. Go live and read $20 questions or something like that. People kept, dude, you name it, my inbox in every single platform I was on, Instagram, Facebook, you know, my Facebook page, every inbox that I had online, my email address, for those that knew it, would be flooded all day, every day with people begging me to do personal reading. And I, nope, not doing it. Nope. I refused it. I was running from money and money was chasing me. I refused it. And finally, when I needed a couple extra bucks one day, that's when I put it on the line, scared to death, and decided, and discovered, I do know what I'm doing, don't I? I had no confidence, really. I had no confidence. I was just playing around. I was like, oh, let's see what happens if I do this, you know? What's going to happen? I had no idea. So I guess I kind of trailed that to kind of go back to the whole intention thing. Okay, intention powers everything. A lot of people want to know, you know, okay, well, what's this card mean? What's this card mean? Well, why is it that you want to know exactly? What is it you want to do with that information? You know, follow your passion. Would you do it for free? That's what I always ask people. Would you do it for free? Whatever this thing is, you know? Like, I use this example a lot. And y'all have probably heard me say this before, but you take most people, your average person, if they're faced in a situation where they have a choice between two jobs, job A and job B. Job A is your dream job that you've always wanted to do your whole life, pays $100,000 a year. Job B pays $1 million a year, but you just thinking about doing that job makes your head hurt. Oh, I don't want to do that every day. But most people would still take job B that pays $1 million a year because we have been programmed to chase money. Programmed to chase money. But those people who don't chase the money, who take the $100,000 a year job because they love it, can take that 100 grand and flip it into 10 million. Because they're not chasing money, they're chasing their passion. That's the way it works. You follow your passion and your passion only, money will follow you. Yep. Absolutely, positively. Who cares? People say, well, you know how many people ask me stuff like this? I have this passion to write a book. Should I? Why are you asking me? Why are you asking me for permission to follow your passion? Because I want to know if I would make money, if it would turn into a lucrative career. Who gives a fuck? With that mindset, no, it probably won't. Because you're chasing money. Are you really passionate about it? If you're not passionate enough to do it for free, it's probably not going to manifest into a very successful career. Probably not. Now, does that mean never ever? No, not necessarily. You know, there's a lot of people out there who do have very lucrative careers doing things they hate, like we've said. But if you have a passion for something, fucking do it, dude. Do it. Don't put no expectation behind it. I don't care what it is. I had a lady come to me the other day and say, I have this passion for making candles. Well, then make candles like your life depends on it because you love it. Not with the hopes that one day I'll make money. Not with the, oh, I need money. No. You follow your passion and your passion alone. Don't put no expectations. Don't seek to manifest a career. Follow your passion. And a career eventually will come chasing after you. Absolutely. Yep. That's the way it works, boy. I'm going to tell you what. And I knew this. That was one of the things that whenever I started stepping into the position that I was in, put me in this really funny conundrum. Okay? Because I knew what was happening and I was fighting against it. I had this really weird battle going on in my head. Because like I said, I'm primarily a law of attraction person. That's my primary area of expertise. So as this is happening, the universe is screaming at me, well, you're manifesting this. It's chasing you because you're running from it. And I'm like, it's put me in this weird place. I'm like, but I really don't want to do this. Like at the time, I'm not going to lie to you, I did not want to read tarot cards for a living. I didn't. With every ounce of my heart and soul, I did not want to do that for a living. That was not my intention. My intention was to chase my passion. My intention was to chase my passion. And the results of that intention was a career chased me. Yeah, and it caught me. I couldn't run from it anymore, So that's not me. I know that sounds kind of bad. Like I don't like what I do for a living. I do. I have very much learned to become comfortable with this. I still, yes, have very stressful days where all the cards look the same, where everything sounds the same, where it's like, another tarot card, That's any job. I don't care what it is you're doing for a living. I don't care. I don't give a damn what it is. I don't care if you are just so passionate about, I don't know, making candles. Eventually, you're going to get so sick of seeing candles, Eventually. That's the way it works. Oh, then that's when we work to evolve. That's when we work to evolve. Yep. So what are you going to expand your career to now? Now that all the candles look the same, now what are you going to do? Now how are you going to take this career that came and chased you down and build an extra arm on it? Like a cactus growing with an arm. Start expanding, right? How are you going to do that now? Because now you have manifested the vehicle. Now you can take it wherever you want. You got to manifest the vehicle first, though. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So, those of you who have eyes to see, there's not really a whole lot that you have to do as much as you think. Not the way you've been programmed to work for something. Let's just put it that way. Yes, you have to put forth action and intention and all that good stuff, but it's not the way you've been programmed to. Okay, how we've been programmed to, the harder we work, right? The harder I work, that's the more I deserve, right? We've been programmed to think that way, but sadly, that's not the way the mechanism works. If you believe you have to work really hard to make money, you're going to work really fucking hard, and you're probably not going to make much money. Not really. If you believe you have to try, if you believe you have to try really hard, the universe is going to make you try really hard. That's really all there is to it. What you believe is going to be reflected back to you. I believe that money is this thing that's so far out of my reach, and only the strongest and the smartest and the most well-educated people, if that's what you believe, then that is what you're going to experience. That's exactly what you're going to experience. But what does it take? What does it take to reach that level of knowledge and education that makes you worth the money that you're worth? Whatever it is that you're doing. I don't care if you're reading tarot cards or if you end up starting a big chain of restaurants or whatever. What is it that it takes? What is it in here that it takes for the fuel to gain the knowledge and the education that makes you worth whatever? What does it take? It takes passion and desire, passion and desire. Because if you are saying, okay, well, my number one goal is money, and I am going to force myself into school to learn this shit that I really don't give a fuck about. I'm not saying you're not going to go anywhere, but boy, I'm going to tell you what, that's like turning your hose on and clamping it off and watering your garden with the drops that come out. That's like what you're doing there. You got so many walls up, and it's going to take lots and lots of very unnecessary stress and effort to gain the knowledge and the education and all this. If you're not really passionate about what you do, which there's a lot of people who aren't, that's the hardest way possible to earn a living. The hardest way possible. Okay? So we've kind of been programmed to think that way, though, haven't we? I know I was. Absolutely. I went to college twice. Both times I went to college. Within the first or second semester, a very, very, very bad car accident took me out. Not took me out, didn't kill me. Close. One of them came close. One of them came real close. Oh yeah, when I was 19, I was in a Nissan 300ZX that flipped down a hill. I don't remember anything, but we were really drunk. Me and the dude that was in the car, we were really hammered, wasted. And I don't remember shit to this day. I just remember we were cruising around, having fun, having drinks, drinking Jägermeister. And I woke up in an ambulance, covered in blood. And the police officer who arrived at the scene, I talked to him later. He said in his 20 years on the force, he has never seen anybody walk out of an accident that bad, ever. He said, if I hadn't been so fucking wasted, it would have killed me. There's no way either of us walked out of that. Either of us. And it crushed this shoulder, basically. It snapped my collarbone. I still have a lot of nerve damage in this arm, Yeah, it was bad. That was the first time I was in college. I couldn't go back because I had no use of my arm for like 3 months. What happened really, I don't know. According to going back and retracing the accident, one of the back tires caught the edge of the road. The car went across the road, hit a ditch and ramped and went through the top of a tree. Knocked out the top of the tree and flipped end over end down this hill and threw me out of the car, threw the other dude out of the car, landed on its top. And I just read this in the police reports. I don't remember nothing. I don't remember anything. The only thing I remember is looking up at the sky, That's the next thing I know. My next conscious memory, I'm looking up at the sky, and I feel this sensation of the EMTs pulling the gurney up. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I'm being slid into the ambulance. And the people working on me were asking me all these questions. Sir, do you know what your name is? You know what day of the week it is? You know who the president of the United States is? You know what month it is? You know what year you were born? And I'm like, why the fuck are y'all asking me all this shit? What the hell is going on, And they said, you were almost killed. You were just in a really bad accident, I'm like, what? And I look down and I'm covered in mud and blood. And I'm like, what the hell? Are you serious, dude? I didn't even know. I had no idea. Crazy, man. It was nuts. It was crazy. I still don't remember anything. I have no memory of that wreck. And then, see, I was 19 then. And then the next time I was in college for heating and air. And one day I was working at Advanced Auto Parts in New Albany, Indiana. And on one of my old YouTube channels, I got a bunch of YouTube channels floating around on YouTube with different names and stuff. And one of my old ones, I forget which one it is, I told this story. I was flying down the road because I was about to be late for work. And I'm doing about 50 miles an hour. I was speeding, by the way. I was speeding. And it was in a 30 mile an hour zone. But this lady ran a stop sign, dude. You know, so we were kind of both at fault because I was speeding, but this lady ran a stop sign. Didn't even touch her brake line, dude. Just came straight through the stop sign. And I smacked her fucking driver's side door doing about 50. And then totaled my car, obviously. But I get out and I'm about to like start cussing this person out. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You know? And I see her car doing circles in the middle of the street. And I immediately, I'm like, what the hell? This car is just going in circles. And I get kind of closer to it, you know? And I see this little old lady, little old black lady, right? About 60 years old. And she's just laid out in the passenger seat, blood running down her face. And I'm like, oh my God, I just killed this lady. Oh shit, you know? So I flag a car down. I'm like, help me, you know? And then this dude jumps out of his car and we both kind of go up to this moving car and steer it over to the edge of the road where it comes to a stop. Didn't kill the lady. And a couple of weeks later, I got her address, like on the police report or something like that. And I showed up to her house and said, you remember me? She says, no. I said, I'm the guy that hit you a couple weeks ago. And she goes, oh. I said, I just want to make sure you're okay, you know? I just wanted to make sure she was okay. Like, it weighed really heavy on my heart, you know? It scared the hell out of me, dude. So I thought I killed her, you know? Little old lady, dude. Oh man, she was probably 5 feet tall. Little skinny old lady, you know? Weighed really, really heavy on my heart, dude. I just could not let that go. So I found her address and went to her house and knocked on the door. And she lost her hearing in her left ear. She lost the hearing in her left ear and she had 17 staples in her head. I was like, damn, man, I gave her a big old hug, you know what I'm saying? And I told her, I said, you know, I admit I was at fault too. You know, we were both at fault. She ran a stop sign and I was speeding. You know, two wrongs don't make a right, you know. But that was the second time. There's a video on YouTube of me telling this story when I was fucking young. I was 22, I think, when that happened. And then at that point, I was like borrowing my sister's car. And that car ended up breaking down or whatever. She took her car back or something. I don't remember why, but with my car being totaled like that, I wasn't able to go back and forth to college. So, yeah. Yep. So, anyway. Oh, you saw me tell that story? Yeah. I was young, man. I was a little young pup. That's when I was living at home in New Albany, Indiana, with Papa, before Papa died. And, yeah. That was crazy. That was the second time I went to college, though. But, I mean, the point that I was making, I was not in college for anything that I was passionate about. I was like, oh, I hated it, dude. I could not stand it, man. I couldn't stand it, you know? But my oldest daughter was in her mommy's belly at the time, you know, and I was doing what I thought I had to do, you know, okay, I got a kid on the way. I got to go to college and get me an education and get this good job. But I was just like, could not pay attention in school because this was the most boring shit. It was not interesting. It just, I hated it, dude. I hated it. It was not fun. There was not one bit of that schooling that was fun. I don't know. Nope, but, anyway, I'll stay on here for a couple more minutes, but, yeah, I'm going to be getting out of here before too long. A couple more minutes. So, I really don't remember exactly where I was going with that or the point that I was making, but oh well. Interesting stories though. Interesting stories. I do have a lot of stories, a lot of interesting stories to tell. So anyway though. Yeah, I should have been dead a long time ago. Long time ago. And from what I've heard, from what I've been told in psychic readings, I'm not allowed to go because my mission here is so big, you know, that I should have been dead a long time ago, but apparently from what I've heard, I have like triple the amount of help on the other side than your average person does. Like, you know how most people maybe have 1 or 2 spirit guides, and I have like 20 apparently. And I'm like, damn, dude, okay, whatever. I'm not allowed to go. I'm not allowed to go. Apparently I have lots and lots and lots of spirit guides around me all the time. Apparently, from what I've been told, from what psychic mediums have told me. You know, so yeah, I've tried a few times. I've tried a few times, man, and I, after that last attempt that I tried to take myself out, there's no way. That was so, I'll go ahead and tell you that story too. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because it is really dark and sadistic, but I hung myself with a belt. And I planned the circumstances out perfectly, and the belt buckle broke. This big, thick-ass belt buckle that's like this big around. I woke up on the floor. And it was such a strange sensation because all of my memories had been erased at this point. I was coming to consciousness. I thought I was waking up in the morning and having to go to work as I'm coming to. You know that feeling in the morning when your brain snaps awake but your eyes are still closed? And you're like, oh, okay, oh, fuck, man, I don't want to get up yet. You know that feeling? That's when I started the sensation that was coming into my mind. And I'm thinking it's time to get up and go to work. So I'm cold, right? I'm freezing. I forgot that I was in my cellar and there was a dirt floor in my cellar. So I'm like looking for a blanket. I'm doing this, trying to find a blanket to cover myself up with my nails dug in the dirt. Now, my eyes popped open at that point. I'm like, what the hell am I doing on my cellar floor? You know? What? And then I rolled over on my back and looked up and I saw the belt hanging up on the rafter with the buckle missing. The buckle snapped off. And at that point, that's when the police were banging on the door. Okay, because I did notify the police at the time, and for personal reasons. But I planned it out to where I thought that there was no way I was going to be revived, you know. I'm not going to go into the details, but I did do a few extra things to like ensure that I'm out. There is no bringing me back. And I wasn't even able to hang long enough to go, you know. So they stuck me in a mental hospital, and I was pissed off, man. I was like, dude, you know, like I spent months planning this out. Months. I was angry. And then after a while, I started being like, okay, I don't want to live through this again. It's not worth it. It just made things 10 times worse in my life. Oh my God, it made things 10 times worse, you know? My family was scared to death, you know? Everybody at work was horrified. They couldn't believe the news that they heard. Everybody started treating me differently and looking at me differently. It just, everything in my life was just so much more negative, you know? That's when the suicidal tendency started to flush out of me. And I'm like, I don't want to do this again. Obviously, I'm not allowed to go. No, I didn't see a black entity. I saw a group of entities that looked like humans. They disguised themselves as humans. It was very interesting on the other side. But that wasn't that time. No. That was the time before. The first time, I was actually revived. I was cut down the first time I did it and revived. And I was on the other side. And I was surrounded by a group of entities who were talking to me with their mind, you know, and they disguised themselves as humans to give me some kind of point of reference, you know. But no, they weren't black. They weren't black. They were just beings, you know, like a girl kind of with short hair. One of them looked like a girl. One of them looked like a bald guy that was kind of fat, you know. And I mean, I knew that they weren't really people, but, you know, on the other side, a lot of times, especially if you're still kind of connected to here, the beings will make themselves whatever you need to associate with so that you can, you know what I mean? So yeah. But no, that second time around, no, I didn't really experience much of anything that I can remember. I didn't bring any memories back. So if that second time, if I went to the other side, I don't remember. I don't remember any details, you know? Kind of like waking up from a dream that you don't remember. You know how when you wake up and your dream, the harder you think about it, the more it just kind of goes away and dwindles away. And it's like, and you totally forget. Same thing. the second time around. But I wasn't revived, so I didn't actually stop breathing, and my heart didn't stop beating. So, yeah, but like I said, that's when I'm no longer suicidal at that point, because I was like, you know what? This is not worth it, dude. It is not worth the chance of living through this and going through this bullshit. Made things 10 times worse, dude. 10 times worse. And then after that is when I went homeless. Let's see, I got out of the mental hospital in May, June, July, August. I went homeless 3 months later. And yeah, it's a good thing that everything happened in order like that, because by the time I went homeless, if I was still in the mindset I was in 3 months before, oh yeah, I would have tried it again, you know? But at this point, it's like, okay, well, let's just see where life takes me. I'm not allowed to leave, obviously. Not allowed to leave, so let's just see where this journey is taking me, you know? So, yeah. Yep. So, I guess I really don't like talking about these things a lot. But I do think that it is important that you understand that I'm not just this fake personality that's just saying cute shit, you know, repeating what the next person has heard. My story is very dark. It's very dark, okay? I'm not a person who, you know that we all know that one person that just talks out of their ass and they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. One of my biggest pet peeves. I've been there, you know? I've been there. I've experienced it. I understand depression. I understand addiction and alcoholism and all those real dark, low, nasty places. I've been there. Loneliness, solitude, the rock bottom, the lowest of the low. I've been there, you know? That's why I approach what I do and helping people the way that I do, because I know what it takes to get from rock bottom to the top of the mountain. I know what it takes, okay? I know what it takes. Now, just because I've reached the top of one mountain doesn't mean I'm done climbing mountains. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. But I have climbed a mountain, okay? I've at least climbed one mountain in my life, okay? And I know what it takes to go from rock bottom to climb your first mountain. I know what it takes. And that's what I help people do. For those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Okay? If you don't have eyes to see and ears to hear, then no matter what I tell you, it's not going to click. You're not going to be able to do anything with it. If you refuse to hear the message, or if you want to fight with me and call me names and all this shit, you know, that people like to do, that's fine, whatever. Okay? Well, you just stay swimming in the little shit pool then. That's what you'll do. I get it. I've been there. You know, I didn't want to hear anything that anybody had to say. So I get it. I understand. I'm not here to convince anybody. It's not my job to try to force you to think what I think. Those with eyes to see and ears to hear, who have that desire, who have the intention to go from rock bottom to the top of the mountain, will. They will. Okay? Not really. As long as you have that intention powering you, once you get the ball rolling, you're pretty much safe to take your hands off the wheel. And the momentum, it'll happen one way or the other, okay? It'll happen one way or the other. You'll get there. You'll get there. Don't stress too hard. Don't stress too much. It'll happen for you. And you'll know. Pay attention to your internal guidance system, okay? Anywho, though, this turned into a very interesting chat today. But I had the nudge to get on here. I felt the calling to get on and chat. And I know that at least one person needed to hear what I talked about today. And like I say, as long as I can just change one life, I can help, assist. It's not me that changes your life, so I shouldn't have said that. As long as I can help assist in the evolution or the change of one life, okay? If I can provide that thing that you're looking for, you have to be looking for it. You have to want it. And if you're looking for it, and I provide you with that information that you need, that thing that you've been looking for, and it helps you climb the mountain, then my job is complete. Okay? That's what I'm here to do. Anyway, I greatly appreciate everybody that tuned in. And I'm sorry, I know I ignored a lot of comments. I was reading them. Just because I wasn't responding doesn't mean I was ignoring you. I'm not trying to be rude, but I do feel like I had some things to talk about. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I'll be public on my channel today, and if you have any readings, I know I have a couple of same days that were ordered yesterday. I got to get to those whenever they get printed out, and yeah, I'll see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity, okay?